Hey folks, welcome back to the Creative Excursion series. My name is Ryan Comins. I am a creative process designer and facilitator at Ideas to Go. Today we are going to be talking about my personal favorite creative excursion, Get Fired, Get Hired. This is a perfect excursion for when you're ideating with a team and you need a little bit more stretch to the ideas in your output, and you need to get your team maybe thinking a little bit outside of the box or even a little bit outside of their comfort zone and see where that can take you in your ideas. So, as always, with every excursion you do, it's best to break it up into easy to digest chunks. So we have 5 steps outlined within this particular creative excursion. We'll give you examples of how to present the excursion here, and I have an example idea that I'll walk you through as well. All right, so step 1 of the Get Fired excursion is to choose your topic for ideation. Most likely you've already done this. You're leading an ideation meeting, you know what the topic is going to be about. For the sake of this example, we're going to talk about nighttime and sleep. And then to narrow that down just a little bit further, we're going to talk about the before bed ritual. Okay, so we're going to imagine for a moment that we are working for a company. Our project purpose today is to generate ideas for products and services that will enhance the before bedtime ritual experience for our customers or clients. All right? Great. Step 1 accomplished. We've got our topic. Now, step 2. Would like everybody here to please circle up into a large circle and grab a pen and a loose piece of paper if possible. I have some materials here that I can distribute. Feel free to use the project participant worksheet. Large post-it notes can also work well, or just a sheet off of an old notebook. That'll work just fine. Just make sure that each team member has a pen and a paper that they can pass around. That is going to be a key for this particular exercise. They're going to need to be able to tear it off their notebook or at least pass it to their right or their left. Now, the instruction that I give here is everybody please write down one idea on the piece of paper that you have in front of you that if you pitched it to your boss or to an executive committee, it would get you fired. Okay? The crazier the idea, the better. What we're looking for here are ideas that exist within the realm of impossibility. They're just not executable whatsoever. They still address the topic of the before the bedtime ritual and solve something for that within that particular opportunity space, but are not necessarily realistic ideas. Okay? Nothing is off limits, and go wild with it. All right? Now, as you set this up, people are going to look a little confused. They're not used to presenting ideas that nobody would consider to be realistic. So it's really important here to provide them with an example. I'm going to give you my example of my idea for addressing the before bedtime ritual. Of course, you'll come up with your own. So my example is get R. Lee Ermey, the famous Full Metal Jacket drill sergeant, to go to everyone's house and yell at them until they have finished their bedtime ritual. I think certainly that would get folks to do their bedtime ritual. I think it would encourage them to do their bedtime ritual. And it's actually a perfect idea now that I think about it. There's nothing wrong with it. All right, so that is the example that I use. It's out there. It's impossible, of course. It's not going to be accomplishable within the realm of reality. But I'll show you now how we're going to take these crazy ideas and work them back into something that's doable. Okay? So, step 3. Everybody now, please pass your idea to the person to your left. Read that idea, and then see what you can pull from that idea that could stimulate a real idea or a get hired idea. Something that if you did present it to your boss, they would consider it as a part of their consideration set for moving ideas forward. Okay, so what can you take from the get fired idea that you just received from your neighbor or your partner and use to create an actual executable idea? So let me give you an example of an idea spawned from stimulus based on the R. Lee Ermey idea. So this is an in-app feature that syncs to your calendar. It generates a reward for completing a bedtime ritual to-do list every single night. All right? So what I did was I took the parts of the idea from the Get Fired piece that I liked. I deleted some parts that I didn't like, and I came up with this particular idea. It's something that we can put into people's homes because it's within their phone. It syncs to their life already via the calendar and a to-do list. And instead of punishing people for not doing their bedtime ritual, it rewards people for doing their bedtime ritual. So you see how we got from something completely crazy to something that, hey, we might actually consider this if we were not working in an example and working in real life. All right. So step 4 of the process then, have each team member share out their get fired idea as well as their get hired idea they generated, and then have the team listen to each other as they share out and encourage them to see if they can use what they're hearing from other people to generate even more ideas. So continue to listen for stim, write down some more ideas based on what you're hearing. Maybe it's a build on an idea that somebody else had. Maybe it's a completely fresh new idea. Whatever gets you to the higher quantity output, the better. So you always want to be encouraging people to constantly be generating based on what they're hearing. When people are sharing out their get fired ideas, you're going to get a lot of laughs. You're going to get a lot of giggles. That's where that energizing boost comes from. It really does improve the mood of the room if people are feeling tired from a full day of ideation, if people are worn out because they've generated hundreds of ideas. This is a really good way to kind of reinvigorate them, get them realizing that, hey, ideation should be fun and it shouldn't just be work all day. So that's step 4 of the process. And then step 5 is pretty simple. You're going to rinse and repeat. So do this as many times as you'd like. Feel free to do a build exercise after this where you'd say, hey, switch randomly with somebody else, take their idea, see what you can build on it, or see if you can use what they wrote down to generate a completely new idea. So it's a pretty repeatable process. It's a great one. Again, it's really energizing. It gets the teams thinking a little bit outside of the box and even a little bit outside of their comfort zone. So it can be a really great way to get people to fall in love with the process of innovation and to fall in love with the process of creative excursions. Again, my name is Ryan Comins. Feel free to reach out to me on LinkedIn or email if you have any questions. Happy to help as always. And thanks so much.